Welcome to the London Vet Show.
Thank you.
Having a good time?
Yeah, it's been wonderful so far. Just been eating all the free biscuits.
Okay, well, great. And as you know, we've launched this new community called VetYOU, which is primarily looking at people's financial independence and trying to understand their financial background and how they feel about their own financial security for their financial future. So I'm guessing we're probably at slightly different stages of our career in that regard. So would you mind telling us a little bit about your background in terms of your financial security and independence and how you feel about that?
I suppose I'm now 9 years out of vet school, and I worked in practice for the first couple of years, not particularly well-paid jobs, but then I also went and did a PhD for 4 years, which also didn't have a particularly good
expensive
stipend. Yes. So then when I came out of that, I came down to London and I started internships. So although I'm now in my 30s, I have been an intern for the last 2.5 years on varying wages, shall we say, and then been piecemealing together other bits of work, so postdoctoral work, locum work, other little bits of projects, research, teaching, that kind of thing, to kind of bring it all together. So I suppose this year is a big year financially because I'm going to have to do my own tax return for the first time. So I've been trying to be organised and keep my incomes and everything in a spreadsheet, make sure I'm invoicing properly, that kind of thing. But that's really as far as I've gone, is compliance with the law. I haven't done anything more or less than that, really.
And so how would you rate how do you feel from a financial independence point of view? Do you feel you're secure? Do you understand what you need to do to help you get to that point of feeling independent financially? Or is it really a little bit of a learn as you go along?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we never used to talk about money at home, so I haven't really got much of a background to draw on from that. Certainly my mother has chastised me for getting into my 30s and not having a pension, so that's certainly something that I need to pay attention to. I suppose I feel financially secure in the sense I've got a skill set that I can fall back on that is locuming, and it's a good skill set that I can pursue. I have never taken seriously what would happen if I wasn't able to do that anymore, if there was injury or something that prevented me from carrying on with that. So, I suppose secure in the moment, but not necessarily forever.
Okay, and so I suppose I'm being a little bit older in a slightly different position because I've got all of life's trappings, the wife, the mortgage, the family, and a business, and it's required me to think about those things and almost force me to take on financial independence that's required at each of those life stage changes. And somebody maybe like you just coming to those, then that provides a different opportunity. And I guess one of the pieces of advice that we're trying to get people to think about through VetYOU is to try and simplify what we're talking about in terms of financial independence, is really putting it into 3 areas. One, your health, because that's really, really important. Without your health, you can't do anything. And so what are people doing to secure their health for the future from a financial independence point of view? The second area is their income. It sounds like you're already doing some good things in terms of the basics, like complying with the law on tax and billing on time, but have you thought about what you might do for income if you can't work, illness or injury or something like that? And then the third area we're talking about, which is some great advice you've had from your parents, is what are you doing about your future? So that's pensions, that's investments, things like life cover as well, if you've got dependents or if you've got debts that you want to cover with that. So those are sort of 3 areas that we're encouraging people to look at.